Good morning, everyone. We have Sabrina Dorman here this morning, and she is just a delightful young lady that I recently met at a conference I was at, and she just has a passion for other people. And here at Lip Only Ministries, I'm Nicki Corinne White, and Lip Only Ministries is all about uh, going out of your comfort zone and doing something and helping other people and she deals with human trafficking and help others in need, and it's like that's like really out of a lot of people's comfort zone. And so I want to read something from her website that I really like so that you have a little bit of a feel for what she is all about. Her ministry is called New Creation, and it's based in Virginia, correct? And it's an organization. It's on a mission to counteract human trafficking with a local heart and global approach. We work with more than 90 partner organizations from 5 continents to create dignified work for those rescued and vulnerable to the trafficking around the world. We believe that education and job creation are powerful tools to overcome trafficking, which is why our team is committed to continuing to develop concepts that make freedom possible. We also, um, you know, they the thing that I really liked when I was reading through things is how you make them feel good. Make them feel good about themselves, feel better after being through what they've been through. And so why don't you start and explain how you got involved with this ministry, how you created this ministry, and what motivated you to be involved with this?
Yeah, well, thanks for having me, Nikki, and letting me share our story at New Creation. So I actually got involved in anti-trafficking internationally first. So I was serving a group of women in Uganda, and it was a pretty simple, how can we serve and work alongside what you're doing in Uganda and connect it to our community here in Virginia? And so she sent me a necklace, actually. This is the necklace that started it all. So she sent
Oh,
me a necklace and she said, could you sell the jewelry that women are making and tell their story? Because that money would help them build new lives. You talked about making people feel good. We're all about empowering women and making sure they have dignified opportunities, right? We're not anybody's hero. We want to leverage our community to allow them to leverage their talent. So that's how it started. In my dining room, I would sell paper beads and tell the story about women who had escaped sex trafficking there. And really what happened was, as we were selling jewelry and talking about the issue of human trafficking, people had a lot of questions because that was 12, 13 years ago. A lot of people didn't understand human trafficking, or there were a lot of myths, still are a lot of myths and misconceptions. So as people were engaging through our selling of paper beads, my husband and I really thought there's something here that God has for us in this moment of time to really engage the community to push back on this issue. And so it started really simple. And so it's wild. Our partnership count is now over 100 organizations. And so it's
it's
been really
amazing.
cool, yeah, to see God move and allow us to be a part of his story for the women that we serve.
Ah, that's just amazing. And it's amazing that you not just saw the need and that you should do something, but that you took all these steps to really make it happen. And that's hard to do. It's hard to get other people involved with it, and finances can be hard and cause problems. And but it's all about the people. And so God then works through you. And so you've considered on your website that education through jobs is important, and why. Why don't you kind of explain about that a little bit?
Yeah, so our focus has always been kind of these two lanes of anti-trafficking. Just so people are aware, human trafficking is the fastest growing criminal industry in the world. There are more people enslaved today in 2024 than any other time in history, and it is rapidly growing. And so, because it's such a large issue, there are many solutions, right? There's restorative care, and there are people who work on the law enforcement side, and legislation, and all those things are powerful and needed. But we recognize that we really had to pick what are our focal points. And
Mhm.
so our focal points have been job creation. So how we started, right? Creating opportunities for women to make sure they have a way forward. What happens often, and we didn't know this when we started, but research emerged a few years ago, and it showed that 80% of those rescued from human trafficking go back into trafficking without a dignified opportunity. So that job creation piece is, it is a preventative piece as well.
Yeah.
It's restoring dignity, it's creating an opportunity, it's breaking the cycle of poverty and exploitation off of the next generation. The vast majority of artisans that we serve are moms, right? So
Mhm.
if I am in trafficking and I have a daughter behind me, the likelihood is high that she'll end up with that same fate. But when we can create
Yeah.
opportunities for women to have really powerful, I mean, in America, I think because we have so many opportunities, we complain about Mondays because we have to go to work. That's not the reality for the women that I serve. They are thrilled to have jobs that create opportunities to take care of their family. So the job creation is like one lane if you think of us in like these twofold. And then prevention education has become a powerful piece. I'm a mom. My daughters were 7 and 8 when I started New Creation, so they're in their 20s now. And it's powerful to me when I think about protecting youth. Part of the conversation has got to be going upstream. So, with anti trafficking, a lot of people, because of Hollywood, we want to see brothel doors kicked down and kids rescued in these really heroic ways. But really, truly, what I see as powerful is how do we go upstream? That's necessary. Restorative care is necessary, but how do we go upstream to make sure there's nobody behind the brothel door? And that has
Mhm.
to start with conversations. So we work with middle schools and high schools to connect. It's called the Prevention Project. It's a really powerful tool. If anybody listening wants more information, they can reach out because it is teacher led. It can be implemented in any school, even if new creation is not there and I'm not there. We can
Right.
help get those really powerful conversations started in our school system because that's how we see change. We
Right.
can wait to rescue women, and as soon as we rescue one, another one will be taken, right? But if we can educate kids, unveil the common lores, and really pull out the root vulnerability. And for our children in the US, the root vulnerability often is they don't understand the issue. They don't even think that it's in their community. And so it leaves
Right.
them very vulnerable. So
Yeah.
if you can't tell, I'm very passionate about prevention
Wow, that's
education.
good. That's a good way to be. So, yeah, I have a friend who's a young person who's, well, she's in her 30s, but worked with human trafficking and she's created some legislation uh, in Nevada to incarcerate people for longer. And one of the things that stood out so much in my conversations with her is that, like, you, it reminded me of it when you said people are thinking that's like break down these doors and do all this kind of thing. But she said there's only a certain percentage that's really like that, and the big percentage are what they call the Romeo people. Like, they're the friends that someone has or the relative, uh, and that's actually more common to get someone into human trafficking. Just being nice to them. I have this plan for you, just kind of grooms them. Um, and that just blew me away. It's like so common, so prevalent. And she said that like you say, give them their dignity, help them. I mean, and I think as we teach young women, how much God loves them and how much uh, they were created to be, and they can have jobs and they can do these things, and then won't be as susceptible to someone like that who pulls them along and says, oh, life would be better with me and that kind of thing. So the whole dignity issue and knowing who they are and that they can be a strong woman and have a job and raise their kids. And that's like, you know, so powerful, with them. Um, how are you educating the community and businesses about the signs and dangers? Like, do you work within your community and try to educate them? And
Yeah.
is that part of this other project?
Yeah, so a big piece of the prevention education is also community collaboration and community awareness. And so we work in a multitude of different ways. We do everything from hosting law enforcement training. This past spring, we did a law enforcement training and trained 14 different agencies, everybody from Virginia State Police to DC Metro. We even had someone from Homeland Security. So we work to bring in, and when we do, one of the things that I love is when we do industry specific trainings, we bring in professionals in that industry. And so we work with a detective who is incredible at his job. He's done a lot in the anti-trafficking realm. And so he leads that. So sometimes we're creating the ability for law enforcement. A lot of the work that we do is with our businesses and corporate companies. There is a really fantastic tool called One Watch. It's a free digital training that anybody can take. Takes about an hour and a half. It's so powerful. And so we've worked through our chamber to promote One Watch to businesses. What we understand about trafficking is about 1% of victims are identified ever. 1%. And so when you think about the idea of there are these victims that are very much in plain sight, and it's
Mhm.
exactly what you said, Nikki. We see the Hollywood depiction of trafficking and we think that's what it
Right,
looks like. But often
right.
it's in our community. Often those traffickers, I mean, 40 to 50% of children trafficked in the US are trafficked by a family member, not by a kidnapper, somebody who's
Uh,
in kid's life, or like you mentioned, the Romeos, somebody who's building a relationship with the intent to exploit the child. And so we really want to elevate the conversation around trafficking. The other powerful piece of New Creation, so we have a shop that's here in our city, and that shop allows people to engage with an issue that's hard. It gets them to come close. We sell beautiful products from 5 continents. You can buy everything from candles to chocolate to toys and clothes, jewelry, purses. So it gives people the ability to do something, but it also creates, every time somebody walks in the shop, it gives us the opportunity to have conversation and promote things like this free tool One Watch. Or yesterday, I did a training with all the faculty and staff at a high school. And so we work in a lot of different kind of categories with awareness. We work with our like free clinic and our suitcase clinic and our sliding scale medical facilities, because a lot of times victims of trafficking are coming in contact specifically with medical professionals. And so we even have trainings that are industry specific to somebody in the medical field. So they understand, the red flags and indicators look different in a classroom than it does in an observation room in a ER. So we have a lot of different opportunities to engage people wherever they are, wherever they're working, wherever they're living, wherever they reside. We want every person to be a part of the solution, which really is raising awareness, giving people tools that if they see something, they say something, and then giving them the ability to do something powerful, like vote with their dollars by how they shop. And so I think that's part of the power of our organization.
so I have a friend whose daughter's in Thailand who people come across the border and they have a safe place for these young women. They can't ever go back. They can't be they can't become a citizen of Thailand because they technically can, but they don't want to go back unless they get married or some sort of thing happens. And they work with the fair trade industry. It's called Sojourn Studio. And
I know
I never
Sojourn.
that's awesome. So our really close friends, like for 40 years, Steve and Peggy Malcrinos. It's their daughter, Stephanie, and she has done all this work for years. She's lived in Thailand for a long time. So I never really understood fair trade stores and what they are and how it's beneficial to, I don't even know in Boise if we have a fair trade store, but we do have refugees. We're one of the refugee places, but there might be a place like that. I don't know. So explain to our listeners a little bit about fair trade and how that's so wonderful to go into a fair trade store and be able to purchase gifts and stuff for people, and explain a little bit about, because maybe there's other people like
For
me who don't
sure.
really understand what that is.
Well, and I do think there's still a lot of confusion around what fair trade, or we'll see like ethical and sustainable, and what do those things mean. But to really to simplify it, when you're buying something that's fair trade and created in an ethical way, that you're ensuring that whoever makes that product is being paid a fair, livable wage.
Oh,
And so
that's
what
what.
people don't think about, so the tote bag that's behind me that's
Oh,
hanging
that's
on the wall,
beautiful. I've been looking at the
it's
bags.
so
Yes.
beautiful. So
Uh,
that is a fair trade. It's a brand called Join that we love. It's in India. It takes about 10 artisans to make this tote bag. And every artisan that's doing every part, from making the fabric to hand stamping the pattern to cutting the leather to sewing it, every person's being paid a fair wage. What is happening, particularly in America, we are one of the worst offenders for purchasing unethical products. So you'll see on social media, Temu and Shein and all of these
yeah.
really fast fashion brands. People don't realize that most of the time it is by and through slavery that those things are being made. So
Mhm.
slavery is very much part of not just the fabric of our country, it's the fabric of the production of the vast majority. So I say, if it's cheap, whoever made it's paying the cost for you. So if you're buying
Exactly.
something that is, a dress, a fair trade ethical dress, can
Mhm.
cost you 60 to 160 plus dollars, but it's because people are being paid a fair wage. A lot of the organizations that we partnered with, not only are they paying fair wage, they're making sure their production, wherever their production, has safety standards and codes, which is
Right.
not typical of a lot of
Mhm.
where fast fashion's being produced. They're making sure that they have opportunities like healthcare, their kids have education. And so you can feel really good. I also want to say there's a misconception that fair trade's always so much more expensive, but we have products that are $3 and $4 all the way up to $300.
Mhm.
And so we want fair and ethical to be accessible. We're in a
Right.
college town. We want college students to recognize, hey, I don't have to go the fast fashion way. I can be very mindful and thoughtful of how I gift, how I shop.
Mhm.
And so I think that's a conversation I'm glad you asked that, because I do think there's a misconception around what fair trade means. I think a lot of people think, oh, coffee and chocolate, which is how a lot of fair trade started, was with coffee, chocolate,
Mhm.
teas, consumables. But now it's across the board. You can
Yeah.
buy almost anything in an
Well,
ethical and fair.
I had really no idea. I mean, I had kind of a basic knowledge that it was helping someone, but I did feel like the store I went into in Pennsylvania um, was pricey. I felt like it was pricey, so hard to get a gift for someone. But yeah, that makes a lot of sense, and it's true that we have so many products that you know you buy a shirt, it's like $15 or whatever. It's like, why is it only $15? Who's making that in what country and getting paid 50 cents to make it, and yeah, I have thought about that before. Yeah, so I didn't have time as an author at CPE to visit with you as much as my work associate who looked through your shop and looked through some of the products that you have. So you mentioned that you make the paper beads. What are some other key things that your shop has?
Yeah, so our shop has literally any gift idea, from candles. So we have a candle company that creates dignified opportunities for those rescued out of sex trafficking in Ohio. Hope's Landing is one of our favorite brands. We carry Join bags, the tote that I was talking about. We carry their entire line. We have a line of kids' toys that we create in Moldova. So that's a nation most people have never even heard of. It's landlocked between Romania and Ukraine. So I am in that country and creating jobs through our toys. We have jewelry. We have consumables like coffee and tea and
Mhm.
chocolate. And we also, one of the things that during the pandemic, we were trying to create sustainable jobs. So our brick and mortar store was closed. We had a really
Mhm.
hard time trying to figure out how are we going to keep our artisans working. And so we created Do Good Mail, which is a monthly subscription box. And so it's $35 a month. You get a 3 to 4 fair trade and ethical products each month shipped directly to your door. And so we even have a subscription box. We have curated gift boxes.
Do
And so
good. What's it called? Do good.
Do Good Mail. And so if you check out our website, you can order a
Okay.
one-off box. We'll be opening in October, we'll be opening a subscription for 2025, but it's a really powerful way if people want to partner with us. And what
Mhm.
I do with my Do Good Mail is I'll maybe save a product for myself, whatever my favorite thing is, and then I use
Gift
the
it.
other for
Yeah.
gifts. I mean, I don't know about you, Nikki. I have a birthday or a baby
Yeah.
shower
Oh.
all the time. And so it's a
As we
very,
speak, yeah, I have 3 people's stacks being wrapped, ready to ship in the other room. So
yep,
yes, I
yes.
understand that.
So Do Good Mail is great. We have really fun curated gift sets. So things that are already put together
Yeah.
that people can gift because one of the things that we had noticed very quickly is most people find out about our shop because somebody gave them a gift. So think about it this way. You are giving a gift to an artisan, right? You're creating a job. You're giving a gift to New Creation because you're helping our mission thrive. You're giving a gift to that person. You know, you're helping to tell our story, an artisan story, and connect your friend to a mission. And so we did curated gift boxes again during the pandemic because we recognize when we're pulled out of physical community, we need ways to connect. And so that's how our curated boxes have become a thing. So if you are in Virginia or traveling through Virginia, come and see the shop. We actually were in Harrisonburg right off of the interstate. We took over a former pornography shop. It was a pornography shop in our city for 10 years and we wanted to redirect its future. And so it's a beautiful redemptive story if you can come and see it. But if you're not local, we have a website, we have an app, and a subscription box. So lots of opportunities for people to shop.
But, we're running out of time here. And one thing I wanted to ask is if you were to tell just the general person who thinks that maybe someone in their family or someone they know knows someone who's human trafficked, what would be something that you would tell someone?
I would
How would they get help? Yeah.
Yeah, so we always say, so the National Human Trafficking Hotline, that information is on our website. That is a really great resource and tool. If somebody is in immediate urgent need, we always say use 911, call
Right.
your
Hmm.
local law enforcement. In Virginia, we actually have our own hotline in Virginia. And so I think one of the best pieces of information we can do is be educated. So if you take on watch and you educate yourself about the issue, that puts you in a better position if somebody were to disclose or you were picking up indicators that something was going on with someone. And so I say local law enforcement, 911 if it's urgent, the National Human Trafficking Hotline is another great resource. And they actually are run by what's called the Polaris Project, and they have great resources, a lot of training and information if people want to learn more about trafficking.
Awesome. Okay. And so then we also want your contact info for people to get a hold of you, or if they want to do a one watch in their area or whatever, why don't you give us different contact ways
Yep.
to get, oh,
Yep. So you can follow us on social media. We're New Creation VA on all the platforms. You can find us online at newcreationva.org or .com. you can email us at info@newcreationva.org. And we always say, reach out. If you have questions, if you want to learn more, you can peruse our website. It has a lot of information of how to learn more, how to get involved. It's where you shop. But if there's something specific, a question that you have that's not answered, please shoot us an email, DM us on Instagram or Facebook. Our team is really poised and ready to help people get engaged. And then if somebody were to need help, we would be poised and ready to help get you to the person that you need.
Oh, awesome. That's so awesome. Wow, this has been just such a great time. I and so informative and so much info and something that's so relevant and in our communities. And um, I'm just really thankful that we were able to find out about you. And anyway, this is Live Boldly Ministries. I'm Nicki Corinne White, and we just thank you so much that you've been able to tune into us today. And we thank you for Sabrina and her ministry. And I hope you found all the contact information, because you need to learn about this and you need to tell other people to learn about this. And I actually really think that the do good mail thing, it's kind of like your dog's chewy box that they get per month. It's like you get this fun little thing every month, and you're helping human trafficking, and you're helping the victims, you're helping people's wages, you're helping people learn and be educated. And it's just a monthly thing, and you end up with these little gifts that you could give to people. I think they will probably do that. I think that's a great, great idea. And I'm just thankful that you are involved with this and that you've had the foresight to teach others and educate others. And we will continue praying for your ministry and for just all the people that are involved in trafficking that we can help in some way, in some small way. Anyway, thank you so very much for tuning in today, and Lord bless. Thanks.
You're welcome. Thank you,
I'm so
Nicki.
sorry we had a rough start. I don't know.
It's okay.
There was no sign. I couldn't hear you. You couldn't hear me. I don't know what happened. But my computer had an update last night. Of course it did. So so then to get started, there was all these things on it, and it's like, oh my goodness. And that's
Well, we
why I
got
always
it worked out. It's no big
we got it
deal.
worked out. Didn't take that long, but I'm thankful for Pam here, and fellow team member here.
Hey, Pam.
Uh, that I always try to have a second person in case there's some issue.
Yes.
And usually my husband's in the other room, but he is on a work trip today, so he's not here. So, but anyway, thank you so very, very much. And I hope to sometime get together with you, be able to
Yeah.
see you. Try to get a speaking engagement Virginia way. I have another friend who lives there. Try to get something over that way. I'd love to get together with you.
Virginia's super sweet. Especially like in the fall. We live in like in the heart of the Shenandoah Valley. It's just so
I'm
beautiful.
sure
So,
it's gorgeous.
yeah. So if you
Yeah.
ever get to Virginia, you let me know. That's crazy about Sojourn. I have met Stephanie before. I'm pretty sure she stopped in the shop at some point, but I love their work. It's a big, small world.
Yeah. Yeah. Stephanie Malcrinos, she just got married. And well, she's had babies. She got married a year ago. She's the person in Thailand. And her family though does all the mailing, like sends out the stuff, and they're very involved with it. And I have given gifts for all our girls and grandgirls, and like all the earrings and stuff
Yeah,
before.
they're
And
beautiful.
yeah, they are beautiful. Thank you so much.
Thank you,
And
Nicki. I hope y'all have a great day.
yeah, you too. Bye.
Bye.